Information, inspiration, motivation. You're now listening to the Going North podcast, where you're going to get all three of those things and more. I'm your host, author, speaker, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightman. And every week, we're going to be hearing from an author who's going to share their expertise to help you charge forward in life. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the Going North podcast, we bring you some ordinary humans doing extraordinary things who have extraordinary qualities. Today is no different, yet kind of different, because we have our first on the show today, y'all. We've had some certified professional coaches before. We've had authors before. Well, I mean, the podcast is about authors. But yes, today is definitely different because we have an retired FBI unicorn, as well as a wonderful lady who has an honorary doctorate degree, which is a first for this podcast, and she's the co-author of a book.
Yes.
Did I mention FBI too? Retired from the FBI. Like, dude, you better buy the book that she co-authored before she finds you and does stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, she kind of like strong-armed me digitally to get her on this podcast. I mean, it's like, yeah. And
I did not strong-arm you. I did not. Don't listen to him, people. No. Negative.
Oh, man. Yep. In addition to also having experience in the FBI, 34 years, as well as an HR manager, she's also certified in EQI 2.0 certified. So this woman is a trailblazer, y'all. Trailblazer, I'm telling you. And the trail isn't even done yet. It's like folks are trying to still catch up. It's like we're out in Canada right now. She's somewhere down almost to Antarctica. It's like, hey, could you like let us catch up to you? And today she's going to be sharing some of her wonderful wares of awesomeness. It's the one, the only Dr. Rhonda Glover. How are you today, ma'am?
I am super. How are you?
Oh, doing super too. It's great to have you on.
It is great to be here. I'm excited. I'm excited about being here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. It's always great to feature some ladies that are in business doing some wonderful things, baby. Bringing the Wonder Women, baby. That's right.
Yep. Doing some really cool things.
That's right. Cooler than 20 cucumbers. Yeah,
okay, that was good. Okay. Okay.
Yep. It's a danger zone here, full of puns.
I'm sure.
But it's also filled with information, inspiration. So mind filling in some gaps where I may have missed some things in introduction, because I'm pretty sure I'd probably need a whole scroll 30 days longer to read everything you accomplished.
Yeah, so it's been a lot. So I didn't realize how much until, you really, for me, just really sitting back and thinking about some of the things I've done and, writing my bio and writing up a resume. You really start to take stock in some of the things that you've done, some of the things that you've seen, places that you've gone, people that you've impacted. So it can be quite interesting when you think about all the things, if you really sit down and think about all the things that you've done as a human being while you're here on Earth.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Almost like a human becoming. So what inspired you to be able to get to the point where you served the FBI for 34 years plus.
Well, this is, for me, the FBI it's all I've ever wanted to do. And it really started from me looking at the program, the FBI, with Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. when I was a little girl. And that's when the FBI was planted in me. So when talking to young people and really engaging with them, be mindful of what you say, and you have to be mindful of what they're hearing, because it can land, right? It can land. It could be. It's just like a seed that's planted, and if it's watered, it can just grow. And for me, the FBI kind of lay dormant when I was younger, and it came alive when I was in high school. And it just kind of came back to me, and that's when I knew I wanted to be an FBI agent. So that was all I ever wanted to do. That was all I ever wanted to do, is to be an FBI agent.
Oh, yeah. Definitely said some truth right there. Be careful what you say, because the world's a land. Like, yeah, we got, it's like we're a bunch of airports walking around in a way. That's right. Better hope they land the right plane in your mind.
Yeah.
That's right. And it sounds like it did indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, I did. Spent 34 years at the FBI. So that's a long time. When you're in it, it just doesn't feel like it. Especially if you're having a good time and you're really enjoying what you're doing, and you enjoy your work. And that's why it's real important for people to think about retirement as soon as they get their job, as soon as they get started in their career. And I tell young people that all the time, that think about retirement, think about saving money, putting money away, and really keeping that. You don't have to think about it every day, but keep it on your radar, because it's going to come up on you real quick. It's going to be very, very fast. And that's exactly what it did for me. I was prepared for retirement because I thought about retirement probably like the last 10 to 15 years of my career, thinking about, well, what am I going to do in retirement? What do I want to do? Do I want to do anything? I wanted to make sure that financially that I was putting money in my thrift savings account and really thinking about what retirement would look like for me. And I knew that I wanted to do something that would impact people. I knew that I wanted to do something that would really stretch anybody that I talked to. And so I made the decision to become a certified coach, and recognizing that I had been doing some coaching in the FBI, but it was not formal. And so I really wanted to put the time and effort in becoming certified and really learning the nuances of what coaching truly looked like. And so that's what I'm doing now. I have a consulting and coaching firm, and I like to focus on individuals that are interested in law enforcement, and I'm also focused on young people. I work a lot on the volunteer side of the house. I do a lot of work with young people. I oversee a leadership program through the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. I oversee the coordination of our annual Youth Leadership Conference. So I'm doing a lot of things that I love to do in retirement. I am being intentional about how I engage and what sort of impact I want to make in anything and everything that I do. That seemed like a lot right there.
Oh, yeah, it's only one slice of the pie, but it's the slice of the pie that you currently own.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right, the pie of knowledge and experience and all sorts of wisdom.
Well, I try to impart a little something.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Well, that is amazing, and it's great that you're able to build up a very successful career in the FBI, and now you're taking that and actually using it as a way to give back to not only coach folks, especially for law enforcement, but also the youth as well. And heck, I'm pretty sure a lot of kids' eyes, they probably just light up when you tell them that you work for the FBI for 34 years. They probably
Well,
ask you all
yeah,
sorts of
I mean,
questions.
particularly young people now, when they wonder how were you at one place for such a long time. Well, the beautiful thing about working with the FBI is that you do so many different things. You have the opportunity to shift. You have the opportunity to change and really have the opportunity to do some of the things that you want to do. Just looking at the different positions that are there and getting a good visual of what they look like, you have the opportunity to decide, well, what do I want to do 5 years from now? What do I want to do 10 years from now? Where do I want to go? What field office would I like to maybe retire? What field office, where would I like to go? Do I want to be an agent? Do I want to be an analyst? What do I want to do in the FBI? And one of the ways of doing that is to become a part of the FBI. Submit your interest. Go to FBIjobs.gov and look to see what's out there, so you can, maybe realize your desire and your dream to work for the FBI. You may not start out as an agent, but you can get your foot in the door and take a look at what else the FBI has to offer.
That's right, all sorts of offerings indeed. And not only coaching, actually co-authored a part of a book called Dear Fear. So how was that experience?
It was an interesting experience because it really was not on my radar to do any sort of, to do a book. Every now and then I will hear someone say, Rhonda, you ought to do a book. You ought to write a book. And they really have no basis for that, because it's not like they have a good idea of what my career, my 34-year career in the FBI looked like. You make that assumption that there's been some good stuff to write about. And as I think about it, that's true. So that is something that I would really put on the back burner. So this project was a lot of fun to participate in. I really worked with 17 other women. I have a chapter in the book, and I actually talk about my journey in becoming an employee with the FBI, because had I continued to get in my own way, I would not be where I am right now. So it really goes into how I experienced the shift, how I had to change my mindset, and I had to address the fear and even some of the shame that I was feeling as I was moving forward in joining the FBI. So it's interesting to write it, because this is something that that I've lived with. It was something that I rarely talked about. And it was something that I did not talk about for a long, long time because of some of the fear and some of the shame that I felt about that part of my life. So, but I've definitely moved beyond it, and I now use it as an opportunity to educate, and I use it as an opportunity to help other people get out of their own way. Because just like I said before, had I not changed my mindset, had I not shifted, had I not gotten my act together, I would not be where I am. Absolutely not.
It is kind of funny how sometimes that can be one of the obstacles is just ourselves, just letting ourselves get in the way. It's almost like you're trying to make a jump out of nowhere, and then a shadow of yourself just pulls you down when you're making the jump out of nowhere. Like, no! And
right.
then and to find a way to actually get across the other side in a way. So that is amazing indeed, amazing indeed. So any possibilities of your own solo project, maybe a full-blown memoir in the works?
Well, I think about it every now and then, and I've gone as far as to kind of outline it on paper on what the chapters would look like. But in terms of really buckling down and really doing it, not yet. Not yet. I'm actually working on my PhD right now, so that is really my focus, and that is a lot of writing. So I'm making every effort to not distract me from doing that. Wow, but the flip side is that it would be very, very easy for me to just get in front of a computer and just bang out a chapter or two, because it's all about me. It's all about my life, and it's all about how I evolved in the FBI. And I look back, I spent 34 years in the FBI. I grew up in the FBI. I changed in the FBI. So a lot, I have so many different perspectives in my life that I would be able to share in my book. So,
heck, maybe even making your dissertation your next book.
Well, yes, absolutely, but that would be something a little different. Just a little different.
Very true indeed. Very true indeed. Well, any advice for those who may be just starting out as a coach? Because it's very good that you're actually able to niche down into basically taking all of your experience and, just going to focus on law enforcement and the youth. So any advice for those who may be starting out with coaching?
Well, the key thing is to really be mindful and clear as to what you want to do, and do your best in really thinking about what is it you like to do, where do you want to go, and how you want to get there. And that's what coaching can definitely help with that. And so for me, as being a former FBI agent, 34 years in the FBI, I'm no longer kicking in doors. I'm no longer putting handcuffs on people. I'm no longer executing search warrants. I'm no longer chasing people down. I'm able to use that experience to help other people realize what they want to do. And so as a law enforcement coach, I'm able to do that. I'm coming from a different place, and just understanding the space of coaching, I'm able to, ask those questions to get individuals to think about what they want to do, because coaching is not mentoring. Coaching is not, laying that foundation. Coaching is helping the coachee determine what direction they want to go. They're coming up with what they need to do, and they're being held accountable to whatever they want to do and to whatever they come up with.
Yes, indeed. Very true indeed. Very true indeed. And beautiful thing is that even though coaching is different from mentoring, it's like you can somewhat mentor folks in that area of expertise because that is your area of expertise. That's the only way you can actually advise them on what traps and pitfalls to avoid.
Right, and that's and I do that. But one of the what I'm very intentional about, if I'm in a coaching session and then there is an opportunity to mentor, then I make sure that the clients that I have, they know that I make sure that when I make that shift, I'm making sure that they know that I'm putting on my mentoring hat. So, and I kind of ask them, "You mind if I mentor?" I let them know that there's we're getting ready, kind of shift the conversation a little bit.
So kind of like the whole take off the headset metaphor, like a football coach, and it's like, all right, and just sit down with us, like, all right, so here's what you want to avoid right here. Here's the scoop right
here. Yeah.
Yep. The whole ice cream scoop.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, as with all folks who go for their ducks, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of reading that you do. So, mind sharing a favorite title or two of books that you may have enjoyed reading that have probably inspired you to get to where you currently are?
Let's see. One is Good to Great, and that really has given me some focus and really shifted me to really do my best, to show up decent and in order, and to really represent the best way possible going forward. I love reading the Bible because there's a lot of good information. It's like my roadmap, my life roadmap. So I really enjoy, reading the Word.
Oh yeah, two great choices indeed. Heck, the Bible itself, it's a compilation, so it's like anyway, your favorite 66 books in a way.
Yeah.
Woo, beautiful. So since you're Bible reader, would you consider basically having a spiritual foundation as one of the keys to your success?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just stay prayed up. I just stay prayed up, and it's kept me grounded, and it's just staying focused, and just really being mindful of my purpose, my passion, and my promise. And I've experienced a lot of different revelations throughout my career on what my direction is and where I want to go and where I should go, and doing things that may not benefit me but will benefit someone else. My actions, what can I do to help people? And so that's really, just like I'm a certified coach now. That is really helping people. That's big on helping people. So that is in alignment with what my passion and purpose is to really help people and help people get out of their own way. Because I saw in my 34 years in the Bureau, I saw what that looked like. I saw employees that were really in their own way, and they were stuck, and they didn't know where they were going to go. They didn't know how to move. And sometimes I wasn't able to tell. Early in my career, no, I'm not in position to say much of anything because I didn't know anything. You're talking in my early 20s. What am I going to say? But as I matured in the Bureau and just kind of grew in the Bureau and got some age under my belt, I was able to really share a lot. And it was really important for me to do that. It's not my way to hold on to information and just to keep it, because it doesn't do me any good to hold on to it. So I'm very mindful and cognizant of sharing information and providing tools for success for anybody I come in contact with.
Sweet. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, since you mentioned 20s, a question I like to ask every guest, and that is if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but this time in the current year, with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Get ready to be ready. I say get ready to be ready, because opportunities are going to show up. And you want to be ready for those opportunities. You want to be in a position where opportunities will chase you down. So you could just turn around and there's that opportunity. But you have to be ready. You have to be ready to step into that space when it's presented to you. And that means, your mindset. That means being focused on what you want to do. That means working on your weaknesses and enhancing your strengths. It means knowing who you are and really knowing what you need to do in order to get to where you want to go. And so that's get ready to be ready. Because someone is going to tap you on your shoulder and say, I'd like you to take on this project. And the last thing you want to do is, you know what, I'm not ready for that. That person that tapped you on your shoulder is that person that's been watching you and really thinking about what you're capable of doing. But you have to feel that. You have to be ready for that. And sometimes you're going to come across, people are going to see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And that's when you really have to, you got to give it a try. Give it a try. Don't stay stuck. Stretch. Be uncomfortable. Be in a space where, if you're comfortable, you're not learning. You're not growing. You're staying in the same spot. So you want to be in a place of learning. You want to be a place where you are gaining knowledge. You are learning. You're going to another level. Because any knowledge that you gain, any class that you take, you're going to meet people, you're going to learn something, and you're going to get something out of it. But you have to have that mindset. It's just like when people, they don't like to go to conferences, or they don't like to go to meetings, or they don't like to go to different, participating in mandatory training. They don't like doing that. But if you shift your thinking and you change your mindset, you could just walk through that door. It's like, I'm going to learn something today. I may feel like I may not want to be here, but I'm going to change my attitude, and I'm going to be open to whatever is presented. because maybe I'll be able to use it one day. And maybe that information that I get, I'll be able to use it to take me to another level, that it will take me to the position of my dreams. It's changing your mindset and changing your attitude and just getting ready to be ready.
Oh, yeah, that's that bolder, solid advice indeed. Yes, indeed. That's right. Have that mindset and be in the state of being ready so we don't have to get ready and opportunities will chase you down. That's right. Yes, indeed. It's almost like you're a meat truck and the opportunities are a bunch of dogs. Yes, indeed. Well, maybe that was a bad example. Yep. All right, I'll put that one in the bad illustration file.
Yeah, that's right. Put that one in there. You put that away. Put that away.
So like, Ross be like, all right, I'll come out of retirement. He's using too many bad illustrations and puns. All right, we got to put him out. Oh, man. Well, all righty. For those who want to keep in contact with you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Well, the best way to reach out to me is through my website. You can go to www.rhondamglover.com, or you can email me at rhonda@rhondamglover.com.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. Going out there and reach out to the wonderful Rhonda of Royalty herself, Miss Rhonda M. Glover. Let her know you enjoyed hearing on the podcast. Heck, even hire to speak at your next event, indeed. Heck, if you even got some law enforcement in your family, indeed. Or heck, even for the youth instead. Or both. And all that magical goodness, indeed. Yes, ma'am, indeed. So, any parting words for our wonderful listeners, Rhonda? Or should I say Dr. Rhonda?
Oh, that's awesome. I like the way that sounds. Stay focused, invest in you, and always be in a position of learning. Always be in a position of learning, because that's where the shift begins.
Hey there, buddy. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Since you made it to the end of this episode, do both of us a favor and stop being greedy. Stop it right now and share this episode with your friends and your fellow podcast lovers, especially those who have book clubs and want to listen to the authors who write some amazing books.